family. How are you guys? Happy to be here today because we are celebrating the 70s, hunty. Yes, you see all of this. We're about to go down memory lane because what's old is new again. So many things happened in the 70s that brought out some amazing music. But listen, we did the pandemic, and coming out of the pandemic, we've got amazing music where the heart begins to speak. So go on and tell your friends to tune on in. Put your little tie dye on, put your little hoops on, put your little wig on. Come on and join us, join the conversation, because you know what? The experience of the sister chat starts right now. Hey, my sister. What's going on, girl?
I'm still stuck in the 70s. What do you remember?
The 21st time, September.
September.
Because you know that was a big day. Everybody was talking about that song on the 21st. For real, for real.
And it was a 70s thing back then, too.
Yes, yes.
And is it today about the 70s?
The 70s. Girl, so much good things happened in the 70s. But there was a lot of craziness going on before the 70s hit.
There was. And you know what? I noticed that. It's like with parenting. You never knew what your parents was going through to get you to what you got or what you was going through or what you received. And it was like everything was masked. The music masked everything. And it wasn't until you got older till you realized that was going on down the street while I was in school. Or
that was happening.
I was in what grade? Wait a minute. That couldn't have happened because this was going on. And so, who knew that they weren't having, they had boxes then too, where only the blacks can be on this side, the whites on this side. Yep. Bathrooms the same way, water the same way, buses was the same way. Some of us were standing and didn't know that it was because we weren't allowed to sit down. Everything was maxed.
Yes. People didn't put it in your face like they are today. Just throwing it in your face. But what's really unique though is, the worldwide concerts that they were doing to raise funds and to raise awareness, and coming out of the crazy 60s with, the wars and all of that. The 70s was like the beginning. You know what I mean? People were feeling free. They were very, very creative. It was like, no, we're against the war. So they had a big movement with that. The gay and lesbians had a movement. The civil rights movement literally ended. I didn't know we ended in the 70s. Really? Because it's continued through our whole lifetimes, okay, and several generations. So when did it ever end? But they have
Exactly.
an end date. Like, oh, really? It ended in the 70s?
Who knew?
Who knew? Because we were still feeling
Because
it.
we had the music, we had the grooviness, we had the wild colors,
The
we had
colors,
we had the wildflowers, we had the peace sign,
the
we had the hippies,
Aquarius.
we had the hippies. Like, yeah,
Just say it
man.
loud. I'm black and I'm proud.
Yeah, like who knew? But and you said something which is profound because that's how people look at it. But the reality of it wasn't that it was thrown in our face like it is now. Is real time, and we have more access to it till it's right in our face.
Yeah.
Before we was
Yeah.
with Paul Revere. By the
Right.
time
It was a
Paul got
book
it to
in a
us,
book somewhere. Like, okay, well, if you wasn't reading the book, you didn't find out about it. Okay.
if Paul didn't get to your house before the next news came, you can find out.
I
But
think that's
he was
going
on
back
the horse.
before the 70s, girl.
Oh, it
You
was
talking about Paul Revere?
oh.
I'm like, you going way back.
I'm just saying, everything is real time now. So it's like,
Yeah.
you
And
get it
it's so much
as the
lies
captain.
happening now that
Right.
we didn't
You're
know was
getting
going on back then. It took a long time for a lie to get around.
Yeah.
Sort of like Paul Revere. It took a long time for it to get from house to house.
Right.
And so things were very, very different. But that's what I was saying, things change and yet they stay the same. There are so many things that are still the same. I'm like, there is still racism. The I Have a Dream speech has not been completely realized. We're better, we've moved forward, but there's still a lot to work on. And
Yeah.
then look, the fashion. Okay. I'm like, the fashion was crazy.
It
And
was crazy again.
yeah. I'm like, the bell bottoms is back, girl. I said, wait a minute, what? Bell
Look,
bottoms are back.
when the bell bottoms came back and they called them boots, I was like, no.
They call it the boot cut.
I
Yeah.
have the same energy about them that I had then. No. My mom used to put them things on. I would drop to the floor, act like they was itching. She's like, you gonna wear them?
Yeah.
Girl, and all they got is bootlegs in my size. I'm like, no. Don't be doing that to the booty. Don't do that and say only the booty can fit boot cuts. Don't do that. We can fit.
That
We can
means
fit
it's fitting
skinny
your
jeans.
waistline.
We can fit skinny jeans. No, it's the booty. Trust me.
No, it's not. None of them jeans was made for the booty.
And that's why I said I got to go up to the next size for the boot cuts. And that's why I hated them, because them bells was ringing even bigger because of the booty.
I ain't like the skinny jeans.
I love
they was just too. I'm like, listen, that much space. That's the zipper. Okay, when your zipper is this big, you ain't got enough space in there. I'm like them darn hip huggers. But wait, let's go there. How the skinny jeans was at your hip level, and how the 70s had real hip huggers where they really fell all the way down, right?
I didn't need that either, because again, the curve in the back had a whole different fashion statement. I was like, really though? Really? Are we?
You need to get it up over the little thing in the back, okay?
Honey, let me tell you something. Everything else going down, but when I try to make that thing go down, it be like, don't you believe it? Don't you even think about it?
Look, and they didn't have the stretch, right? It wasn't the stretch stuff back then. I'm like, wait, can you get it up? Like, wait, can I get it up?
That's why skinny jeans is my name. Go to Ashley Stewart's. Here come a little promo for my girls at Ashley Stewart's. I love the skinny jeans because they go right up the mini and sit right on top of Benny. But the skinny, okay?
Well, you said it. Okay.
Look, the truth shall set me free. Ain't no need lying about it.
We're not revisiting last week's subject, but the truth will set you free.
Set you free, honey. I'm telling anybody and everybody know that thing back there has its own name.
Its own name, its own mind.
It has its
Okay.
own conversations.
Mm-hmm. And we'll talk to you too.
To today. Shut up.
We'll talk to you and be like, I ain't say nothing. How's she talking?
I got one for you. Remember these? Da 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 da. I stole these. I stole these from my son. I stole these from Jared. I said, I never liked them doggone mirror glasses. He like, they not mirror glasses. I said, yes, they are. That's what they was calling my
They was called the mirror glasses. I'm laughing because I was like, yes, they had the round ones that would like sit down on your nose, right? And they had the square ones, and then they had the little skinny ones. I'm like, you remember them joints?
I remember them, and I remember the Beatles singing. No, that wasn't Beatles who was doing it. Was the Beatles doing it? Lennon, was it? No, John Lennon.
Yes. Imagine there's no heaven. Girl, I can't imagine. Like, no.
Imagine
it's easy if you try. Nothing to live or die for. Above us only sky. Girl, imagine all the people living for today. Girl, imagine that. Hold up.
But I'm not the only one.
Off the nose. Yes, darling. Mm-hmm.
That.
The little teeny tiny glasses. I was like, wait, when did the little tiny was? That was like the end of the 70s. Yeah. I'm like, but I like them because.
So since I'm engineering, I need to stop playing because I can't see.
You can see your eyebrows. You know what I mean? The other ones, they so big, they cover up your eyebrows, right?
Back in the 70s, we used to match everything. So you see it's a little green up there, my little tie up in there. I don't know. So I'm still flowing with the 70s.
Yeah, well, your band matches my top. So I'm like, look, could you give me that? Give me that.
All right, you ready?
Pass it. Pass it over. Girl, but look,
before we even go before we go
all the way
in, I think we need to tell everybody where they can find us and who we are.
Shoot, you know where to find us.
Yes,
we out here on Facebook. We've been here for a minute. Okay. We on Facebook, we on Apple, we on iHeart, we on YouTube. We got our own daggone.com, push the darn.com. Pete, what? Pushed it.com. TKBSDS Productions with an S.com. Did you hear me? TKBSDS Productions.com. You know, just in case you don't know how to spell. And on YouTube, TKBSDS Prod, Prod. Find us, look us up, check us out, and come on in the house and chat with the sisters.
And you may say, sisters, it don't take all that. Well, yeah, it do. And let me tell you why. There's a method to every woman's madness. You can never say you didn't know. So the sisters are here to let you know.
And now you know.
Now you know. But now you know something else. It's called the disclaimer. I'm gonna let you start off, sis. Go ahead, sis. You start off.
Well, you know, my disclaimer is the same. It don't change. You know, come on, y'all. We streaming live right now, and my disclaimer is just that. Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. And that is truth. We don't know. But we're here just sharing our opinion, our ideas, our thoughts, our bits of wisdom. And it's if you choose to join in, or you choose and you agree with us or disagree with us, that's fine. You know what I mean? Because sometimes you don't like the chocolate that has the caramel in it. Sometimes you like the dark chocolate. Sometimes you like the good my good London chocolate. But I'm not gonna mention those. Sometimes you might like the truffle, you know. So if you like it, go on and chew on it, eat it, taste it with us. And if you don't, it's okay if you go on and spit it out. It's all right. We ain't going. We will not be hurt by you not taking the advice of the sister chat. It's all right. Just join in the conversation and share your knowledge, share your wisdom, share your laugh, share your smile. That's what we doing.
I'm always afraid of her disclaimers, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to let you know. I'm always afraid. That's why I start doing the little. People be thinking I'm doing my lipstick. I'm just like, gonna say, you ain't say it. What you say? Okay, you say it.
Okay.
So that's her disclaimer. The X-rated disclaimer. And
It
my
was not
disclaimer is,
X-rated
and my
this time.
you just lucky my skin not rising. It's rising just a little bit, but it ain't rising like it was before.
Just a
Had to handle some business. So the disclaimer is this on this side. We're not trying to push anything on you, just like we don't want you to push anything on us. Whatever works for you works for you. What works for us works for us. It may not vice versa work for either one of us the same way it works for either one of us. Nevertheless, Cinderella, if the shoe fit, wear it. If you decide it fit and you don't want to wear it, guess what? You ain't got to wear it.
Nope.
You treat it just like you do when we go to Golden Corral. You know how we do? We go to the next trade, get what we want because it's a large smorgasbord. Eat and take whatever you like. But it's all up to you. It has nothing to do with us. We're just saying we're giving you just a different perspective to look at things just a little differently that may make you go,
Yes.
is it?
Think about it.
Think about it. Think about
Think
it.
about it.
Think about it. Hey, hey,
Hey,
hey,
think about
hey.
it.
I
Because you
hear,
just never know.
I hear Daddy Kane. So yes, today is a 70s thing. So listen, what did not or what has changed? Oh, looky, it's Tracy.
Hey,
Hey,
Tracy.
Tracy. I'll be seeing you after the show to put my order in, girl. Y'all may want to say, what order is she talking about? Well, her thing is a 70s thing too. See, we used to make our own candles back in the day too. Did you know that?
Ah,
Candles
see.
wasn't just a thing that we just started making and doing. The government and people just started getting hip to getting money on it, but we've been making candles. But she got the candles for you. I'm just trying to tell you. So y'all better look her up. Look her up. I left her name up there just for long purposes. Again, it's always a method to our madness. Trust me. But
Yes,
yeah,
baby.
girlie, tell us about your 70s moment. So I'm looking at your hair. And we was doing the afro back there.
Yes, Hunty. Like, wait. I got a reddish foxy brown thing going on. You know what I'm saying? Foxy brown. I'm like, she was just the shiznick back then. Okay.
It still
So,
is today. It still is.
okay. Yes. So this is all I'm doing. I'm like just thinking about how gorgeous the hair was back then. It was our culture. It was our way. And it had to be, the perfect shape. We was always patting and stuff. We like, oh, I got to get that perfect shape. But then, some were like really wild and some were curly, so this is kind of both. It's a little curly. I haven't worn this thing since the 70s party in London, girl.
Oh
We
my.
start We had such a freaking good time. It was
Nice.
crazy fun. But
No.
yes, it's a reason why there's always a 70s party every year. Somebody always has a 70s party. Like that is one of the themes that people love to go to.
Yep.
Why? Why do you think that is? It was such a good time, such a fun time, such a
Groovy.
releasing time. Like people
Groovy.
were, yes, they were
Groovy.
relaxed, and they was dealing with their trees and stuff, and relaxed, and really, really, really doing a lot of soul searching. It was about the community and
Hmm.
helping each other.
Does that sound familiar?
Yes, because that's what's happening now. The music
Don't,
has changed
don't you
based
see that?
on the negative that occurred prior to, and it brought people
Don't
together.
you see that? Because I believe 67, 68, 69, it was a whole lot of stuff going on. And then the 70s came and just went
Whoosh.
right over it.
Yep.
And they were like, it's before its time.
Mm-hmm.
But they actually took this and went back to the 70s and brought it right on into the 20s and remade the music, remade the fashion. But all of us who know that was back then, we know that all they did was a Puffy and a Kirk Franklin. That's what they did.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And for all
Yep.
of y'all who don't know what a Puffy is and a Kirk Franklin is they went and took somebody else's music and put their stuff on top of it. I'm just
and
going.
wait, how
Y'all ain't
different was the
lying.
music?
Y'all know I ain't lying. Y'all know
Mm-hmm.
I ain't lying. I ain't lying. I ain't lying. I ain't lying. I ain't lying.
As yup, the music was different. How people were addressing the music, like they really wanted to say something. It
Right.
wasn't, just about playing the music. There was a message in the music that was very different.
And they
I
told you,
mean,
that's
from
in the music.
it's
Go ahead,
message in the
OJ.
music.
Tell them the OJs.
Yep. I mean, you look at Imagine, we needed that. Some other songs. And Stevie Wonder was just like all up in all of
All of
that.
them
He
here.
had a story
I just
about
ain't got my
everything.
bees on. I just ain't got my bees on, y'all. I ain't got my bees on. I just ain't got my bees on.
You got your Stevie Wonder look going on, but yeah, 70s was hot. It
Well,
was
guess
a
what?
fun time. People were relaxed, and it was because of all of the turmoil in the 60s. And just like the music is so much better now because of all of the turmoil with the pandemic, and now people are listening and they're writing with their hearts, and they're sharing a message, which we surely, surely, surely need.
Can I tell you something?
What you want? What you want to tell me? Something good?
Oh, it's two things. See, I'm in my isn't she lovely?
Yes.
Isn't she
Isn't she
lovely?
wonderful?
Yes,
Yep.
I is. Yes, I is. But listen, and what I know about Foxy Brown, I knew that when I grew up, I wanted to be Foxy Brown. That's what I knew, Tanya. I knew that. Oh, look, we got London in the house. Anthony B.
I
Williams.
just spoke London up, okay?
You kept calling London, 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 and now somebody
London, come in, come in. Look, and they up late. If they chiming in now, they up late.
look. Anthony is up. Look, Anthony, look. I know. Look, he's up.
Hi, Anthony. Hey, Lovey.
That's my DJ right there. But you know what, Tracy? Yes, it was about freedom, and
Yes.
not only was it about freedom, we were talking about freedom, but the problem was this: we never stopped talking. We were hitting.
Mm-hmm.
And people kept saying our music is stopped. No, it was put in another box where people didn't think to go look for it at. Almost like what the kids used to do with our belts. They would go hide our belts thinking that we wouldn't beat them. They would go put it in another box, another location. But see, they were smart enough to move it and hide it, but they wasn't smart enough to know that we wouldn't go buy another one.
Look, we're gonna make that up. Wait, don't make me make one. don't,
It
don't
was
don't do
by the
that.
time I turn around that belt better pop up. Because it didn't. Not only did you find the old belt, but you got the new belt put with it, and you got a
Woo! You got a double whammy,
you
okay?
got a double win.
Don't do
But
that.
the 70s. So right now I'm feeling like, remember, we had the solid shirt with the striped pants and the big boots. We had the shoes with the big clog heels. That's what I was wearing.
Oh, yeah. The wedges, but that
Oh,
was real tall. Okay, right.
and
The
if we didn't
wedges.
wear wedges, we wear the short mini skirts. That's when my booty allowed me to wear them. Now I get the long skirts and make my skirts come up to the mid sides. And they
Well,
trying to
do
do it
what
to
you gotta
again.
do. Do what you gotta do.
They trying to do it again because they calling that stuff body cams. It ain't a
Oh,
body cam, all right? I had this happen to me in the 70s. Look, you're not
listen.
doing this, okay?
Yeah, that was a hard piece walking by the construction site, okay? And be like, everybody got something to say. Really?
Listen, honey.
Stop.
So wait, you just had something. Construction site. Double same, different meaning. So when you hear the construction site now, and they blow the whistle.
Blow the
Now,
whistle.
now today we talk about blow the whistle, and y'all
Yes.
know what that means. Adult content. And we be blow the whistle. What? Adult content.
That was a joint. Blow the whistle.
Just say it.
We gonna blow it all right. But they were just too much. But it wasn't vulgar by today's standards. You know what I mean? It's like it wasn't vulgar like that, but it's like, I bet your daddy was a bricklayer.
Honey, they did
What?
start getting vulgar. They started getting vulgar when they
What does that mean?
They woke up and wrote the song, "You Can Lick Me Everywhere." You said you knew you was in trouble. I don't even try it. Talk about something they wasn't vulgar then. Because I was getting a whipping for that song.
It was sweeter though. It wasn't nasty. It was sweeter.
My mother did not know the words to that song. She knew nothing about that song, but she knew when that part was going to come on, and she would find where I was to make sure I wouldn't. I would be like, "You can
say it if you want to."
Say I got another one for you.
Say it, I did.
All the boys and girls do the oochie goochie dance. That was in the 70s. Don't you dare tell me we was not vulgar back then. Yes, we were, okay?
It wasn't the same.
I'm gonna tell you how many shoes I got caught up in being thrown in the rope while I can't even do the oochie goochie. Mama, don't you know about doing oochie goochie?
You got the shoe
thrown in the rope. Because Mama, look, Eddie Murphy wasn't lying when he was talking about Mama would take a shoe and throw it, and it would come back as a boomerang, and she would put it back on her foot. He wasn't playing. It was true. When your parents could not get to you, they would throw something in.
They would throw, yeah. But you know what that's telling me? Looking back on when I was a little nappy-headed girl.
Yes, that was the Double Dutch song, Tracy.
Yes.
It was. And we used to do the footsies to call ourselves doing the oochies. Or we used to do the bounces and twists. Bounce and twist. We knew it. And the boys that knew us women that was heavily endowed, you know what? I'm going to tell you something. The 70s was good for me, but my dad destroyed it for me. My dad gave me such a low self-esteem because the guys was on me back then because I was a brick house back then. And my dad would stand at the door over my head and be making threat signs to the boys that would even look at me. And he would drive by and stop the car and look at them.
Like, don't even think about it.
I was like, well, why they don't like me? Why the boys not talking to me?
He already knew. Your dad knew. He said, I know what's on your mind.
I got all this too. What?
Go on, little fella. Get on from around here.
And that's exactly how I say, because my dad was for the country. He had that country accent. Y'all finna go ahead and get something now. But go on here now.
And don't
I
make
don't
me
know.
tell you again. Don't make me tell
Nobody,
you again.
nobody knew what he said, but they knew what he meant. Like,
Okay? You can listen. You know when your parents used to give you that look, okay?
yeah,
All they had to do was turn their head a certain way. You already knew. You ain't had to say a word.
we made the original gang signs. Okay, it was like
Look, that one. That means you better get ghosts right now. Just that. Go.
he was the original gang. But that's the stuff that was what we did. That was the original gangster.
Yeah, that's the truth. That is the truth, girl.
Oh, my heart is hurting.
But even the look of things and how colorful and the aphrodisiac situation and how colorful things were was crazy. And like even the makeup, you know what I mean? Like how they don't wear makeup like that now. So I did it today, right? So this part was just be that's it. But back in the 70s, they used to have makeup all the way to their eyebrows, right? It'd be
Right?
all the way up here, all the
Yeah.
way down.
And they were straight
They
too.
would cover the whole eye.
Honey, we had the first rainbow on our eyes.
Yes. Be like, what's going on here? Yes. What? Wait, what? Wait a minute. What? Yeah.
And
That was
yes,
extra.
we were definitely in our innocence, Tracy. But what's even funny about what you said, Star, is when we did it, we was called, look at you. You like a doggone clown with all that stuff up there. Take it off. And we
Look,
look
and we
like,
blue
we
and the
look like,
blue.
did you
The
just have that
blue.
on?
The blue girl. I don't know what it is, what it was with the blue, but the blue eyeshadow was just everything. I'm like, you won't catch
Everything,
nobody
girl.
with no blue eyeshadow on now. I'm like, they just kind of going back to
No,
blue a
no, no,
little
no,
bit.
no. I got mine taken away from me. I had a nice blue one. And you will not believe where I found it from. You
Where
will
your
not
sister?
believe it. No. I found it on that page. What's that website that they got out now and everybody buys it and it seems like whatever you get is always smaller or different than what Wish.
Oh God,
I called
is
myself
that still out there?
I got this roll on eyeliner in different colors, and one of them was blue with sparkles. And somebody found my bag and took my blue. And I was like, not my blue, but my blue.
That
Because
blue.
honey, I wear my blue with my blue jeans and my blue perfume from Macy's. I was glued down.
The blue was the thing. It was the
Yes,
thing. It was the
yes,
thing.
yes, yes.
That's the crazy part. And I mean, I love how they, kind of transcended the 70s in the Bahamas because they wore blue lipstick. The blue lipstick matched their blue eyes, and they even had blue eyebrows. Like, okay, so wait, we dyeing our eyebrows too,
Look, that
but
goes
they
a little bit
they
too far.
took it to a whole nother level.
Look, I'm good with just this part. Not even when you get here. I would do the line of the top part of the eye.
And that's it.
That's it.
Yep.
Me and my crazy fool stuff. I'll be all in my eyeballs. I was like, woo!
Yup, that's what we did. We just did the eyeliner in color and light lipstick.
That's
Because we
it.
really didn't really wear lipstick. We would
No.
wear what? The clear.
Vaseline.
Yup, the clear.
We wore Vaseline. Like a big old grease monkey. We would take a big scoop off our finger and
The damn vessel. No, you didn't say.
listen. You
The
know what? Going back to our innocence, you could tell us anything and we believed it. It make your lips look bigger and prettier. And we would take a whole
Yeah, they got away with all kinds of stories.
kissable lips.
We believed the all
We
stories that they
believed
was
it
telling, but
all.
they were, they were innocent, and they were keeping us in our innocence.
Right.
during the time that was heavy for them. They
Right.
did not pass that on to us. And that's one of the things that I really truly believe is missing, that the
Right.
parents are not protecting the kids. They're not protecting them from the reality that is the world. And I mean, I get it, well, they should know, but there's a line that needs to be drawn, that they don't need to know this right now. They 3, 4,
Unfortunately,
and 5. You shouldn't be talking to them like they're adults. You shouldn't be using foul language around children when they're that young. So there is a process that has changed, because I'm like, I think we were like, so our teenage, preteen, you know what I
but
mean, before we started getting dribs and drabs of what the reality was.
but you know
And you do not want to take your child's innocence. You want to let them have it as long as possible, because you're going to be an adult way longer than you're going to be a child. Just let them enjoy it.
so I have to recant, or not gonna say recant. I don't totally I agree with you, but I don't hold all of that responsibility on the parent. Only because the way the system is set up today, we're not allowed to protect our kids the way we used to back in the day. See, back in the day, we had the neighborhood watch. We had the girlfriend watch. We
The
had the
neighbors,
neighbor watch. We had the newsy neighbor watch, where actually the newsy neighbor told, you
everything.
know. But today, you can't tell your kids nothing
Yeah,
because
because
their
they're not
parents
listening
told
to
them,
you or the neighbors.
and because their parents told them they didn't have to. For some,
Yeah.
for whatever reason, see what happened was, I believe this is what I believe, and it's where my disclaimer kicks in. I believe what happened was, we didn't like the way certain things was done, and we said, I'm not going to do that when it came to my kids. And
Mm-hmm.
that was the most important part that was actually needed for our kids, but just maybe tweaked and done a little differently.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that the system allowed it to the point where we were not allowed to be home with our kids. It was like, what was more important was our jobs versus our home. It
Mm-hmm.
was like, you got something at home, well, you need to put your plan B because you need your job. And it was like, if you didn't need your job, you was no good for home because you
Mm-hmm.
didn't have no more job. So it put you at a position where it was like, what do I do? That's where they came up with the TV stations were changing. Before, it was okay for your kid to sit in front of TV and watch, because they knew it was a time where the children came on. It was like the
Yes.
little
Certain
sign went
time of
up,
day. Right. It was just
or
their stuff. Yeah,
right,
that's
or the
true.
static went across the TV, or something was acknowledged that this was not for children. Children are to leave the rooms now. And
Mm-hmm.
parents would scoop us up and put us somewhere else, or at that time, let us go outside and play. That's why we were so thin then, because we was playing around until we lost our minds and come home smell like puppies, get in the bath, eat our food, and go to bed. That was routine for us. Now we're obese because we can't go outside and play no more. The doctor says because it's what we eating. Well, yeah, because we can't go outside and play no more. I
Yeah.
mean, you know,
That and how they're growing our food.
the way they growing our food. We used
Mm-hmm.
to sit in front of TV. It was okay to watch Reading Rainbow, Captain Kangaroo, what's Be My Neighbor, Mr.
Yeah, they had children's
Sesame Street.
programs designed for children at the time the children were coming home.
Yes.
And that is gone. And you're right in that the discipline changed, where people began to say, well, I'm not going to discipline my child like that. I was on punishment for a month, did it, whatever the situation was. And they decided they were going to opt out of doing that. But
Right.
there was a method to the madness that you
Right.
didn't understand, that
Now how limited.
the child needs guidelines. A
Yep.
child needs a line drawn in the sand that they cannot cross, and
Yep.
you cannot waver from that. So those things are true, that they really did happen. And you're so right in that it takes a village, and the village was all in. You know what I mean? The village was all in. You knew your neighbors, you knew your neighbors' families. When they would come over, you knew their cousins and aunts and uncles, and everybody would, they would cook out together and play together and have a good time.
Yep.
And that is not there anymore. Most of the times now, people don't even know their neighbor. They
No.
don't know their neighbor. They're not engaging with them. If you do know them, it's a high and by. You're not really engaging. You don't invite them over. They didn't go out and party. They went from house to house. You
Sure
know what I
did.
mean? They could take the kids with them and be
Sure
like,
did.
nope, the kids going with me. Everybody would just roll. And that's different. You know what I mean? They're leaving their kids with whoever. They have the iPad, raising a kid, be like, listen, this will keep them quiet. You know what I'm saying? That's like, and they have those phones in their faces from their babies. You know what I mean? It's like 1 and 2 year olds already know how to work the phone.
That's because that's the new TV. I can keep
It
you
is.
quiet. I can put on a video and watch
Yep.
the phone, and I learn how to use the rest of the phone. But you know what? I ain't mad at that. You know why I ain't mad at that? Because it was a baby who showed me how to use Zoom. Okay, okay. I mean, we had it served purposes, and we had our and every good thing and everything we do, there's a good and there's a bad.
Right. The
There's a
change
plus and there's
evolves.
a negative. And
Hmm.
the both of them both gives you a battery that's worth charging, and you live and you learn. And I believe now is where we are. We're in a learning session of, you know what? Maybe had I did this, or seeing now the result of me not thinking I hurt nobody, how much I really did hurt somebody is a
Hmm.
little different. But
Yeah.
everybody had the same incentive of why. You
Right.
know, I didn't want to discipline my child like this because I knew what it did to me. And I don't want my child to suffer from that. Some people had the beating, but then some people got beat up, and then some people got abused.
Right.
And some of them only got it because it was how it was given to them. So they was repeating history, not
Yeah.
knowing that wasn't the right thing to do. Some of them was even doing it because they wasn't really intentionally meaning to hurt. They were doing it because they had heavy hands, or they didn't realize what that they were doing more damage than
Then
good.
they
And
right.
how many times have we done something when we realized we didn't wasn't really trying to do anything to hurt you? We thought we were doing something good, and it turned out
Right.
wasn't
Because
the
no
intent.
one truly intentionally goes out of their way to try to do something bad, not to
Well,
their own family member. There are those rare cases, but you're right in that, the government took that out of our hands,
yeah,
when they said you can't hit your child. I'm like, you're not going to be here to discipline them. You're
yeah,
not going to be here, government, so you empowered the children over the parents
yep.
because they became smart enough to be like, oh, well, you can't, and you can't, and if you do, I will. Girl, that those battles became real. You know,
I
um,
I got a battle for you. I told mine, hold up, I'll call them for you, and I guarantee by the time you get to the end of the block, they'll be throwing your little behind right on back to me. So go ahead, because they're not gonna be able to deal with you either.
mm-hmm.
So, or better yet, don't worry, we're gonna go to the police station together. Come on, no, no, oh no, no, no. We
Let's
doing
go. What's the problem? Yeah. But they started to pull that card out on their
yeah,
own parents,
yeah.
and some parents just weren't strong enough. Some parents was like, just fell back like, I'm not going to worry about it, and find a different way to to discipline them. And then taking things away was always a big discipline situation, but it's funny how what's old is new again
Yeah.
because people began to see the difference of opting out. When you look at the
Yes.
generations X or Z or whatever the heck they are, and how crazy they think, and how entitled they feel. And they didn't have anything to do. They didn't have to do chores. They didn't have to do their grades. Like they didn't have, and then being stuck in the pandemic, I'm like, you think they'd be happy? They are so angry. It's crazy. So you look at those things that have changed, but keeping hope alive. When you look at the younger kids, they see it. They're asking their other siblings like, why are you doing that? You know what I mean? They see it and they know, and so it's like, okay, great, you do. What's old is new. It's coming around again. So
You
this
know,
is
you said something. You said
What?
you would think that people will be happy, but you got to remember, it may not have been happy where they were, and that's why they're angry because they can't get out of it.
Angrier. Right.
They
So
can't
yes.
get out of it.
Oh my God. Whew.
Situations are worse than when it was
Yes. Oh
when
my
we went
God.
through. So it's
Yeah.
like
Think about that. Ooh.
we never, and that's what we do. And
Mm.
we sit back and we say, "Oh, you know what?" And this is what that is. But then we never stop and say, "I wonder why," or what happened. What something happened right there. What I wonder what made them do that.
Yeah, because the family dynamics are so different now. And now you stuck in this family dynamic, but now you're stuck in the house together where you can't go. And I'm like, oh my God, I just can't even phantom, being oppressed and then being oppressed and stuck. Now the oppressor is stuck with you. So now you are more oppressed than you ever were. And oh my God, I just can't even imagine. That's
And you know
just,
why? And you know why? Because we live in a world. We live in a different world mindset. Is where I'm going.
yeah.
Our
Hmm.
whole mindset of a world is like totally different. We be looking like find the positive, but there's some people that can't find a positive. And some of the reasons why they can't find a positive is because what they knew to be positive wasn't positive.
Hmm.
My son said something to me, so and I had to literally stop and sit back and say, what happened between this week and last week? Please tell me.
Right.
I need to understand
Hmm.
because your whole disposition of conversation is like on a whole different level that I'm looking at. Instead of seeing that you grew another
You
inch,
like what?
yeah, and
What?
I'm like,
What you say?
say that again. Can you
Oh,
can you
wait.
can
Hold
you
up. What?
go back with that? And I was like, you, and we used the example of you wanted something so bad till you didn't recognize who you was hurting to get it. And
Hmm.
then once you got it and realized the hurt that affected the persons that was around you while you was trying to get it caused them to become who they are today.
Mm.
And coming hard to be today wasn't always a good thing. It turned out to be because you didn't want me, because you didn't see me. I'm going to make somebody see me by any means necessary. Even if
Mm.
that means I got to be the nasty one.
Right.
But you see me.
Right.
And it was like, I remember in the 70s.
That's almost like that middle child syndrome.
Exactly, but it became everybody's syndrome because everybody
Mm.
was affected by it because I seen mommy do it, I seen auntie do it, and it worked for mommy and auntie, so now I'm going to do it, not realizing what did auntie and mommy do to get to this position to do it. It doesn't apply to you because the same
Right.
position wasn't the same situation. And how many weeks have we said that? How many weeks have we had that conversation?
Several.
Where we said there's one law that has not been amended or revised and is still working in today's time that is outdated. And it's called what? The Constitution.
Mm.
Those amendments. But they
Yeah.
want to tell us that they expired, but you don't want to tell us that they expired and don't exist no more, but you don't want to write no new ones in there. You don't want to say what those rules were really written to do.
Yeah. You don't
Because
want
we
to
all know,
expand on it.
yeah, because we all know that is an invisible chain still on us. We do.
Yeah, and it was written to evolve. It
Yeah,
wasn't written to be
no,
it was written to be a guideline,
yeah.
and to so that you could amend it as we
Keeping
grew.
them, keeping them,
As
keeping them in control.
mm-hmm.
Keeping them
Yeah.
because they knew if we get up, what would happen? And if we don't see it today, I don't know. I can't blame rosy glasses no more because even when you take your glasses off, it's on the internet, it's on the radio, it's on TV. You gotta
Yeah.
see it.
No, the rose colored glasses is gone, girl.
Yeah.
They are gone.
Only rosy glasses we got now is the ones that are called frames, like mine.
And that's why I do try to, I really do try to stay positive. And it's just not easy. It's
It's
not
not.
easy all the time. It was easier before. It was a time when it was easy. Um, it's much harder now to just stay in that headspace,
Mhm.
to stay there and to keep myself encouraged. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times, we have that going out, where we're encouraging someone and then you're depleted. You know what I'm saying? So you've got to now charge your own darn battery. So I have my plugins. I call them my plugins. I got my friends that are my plugins, so I can plug into them and get energized, and they are that go-to person for me.
Well, you know,
Because I have more friends who count on me. So I'm that girl. You know how we are. It's a Scorpio thing. People come to us. They know it's not going to go anywhere. They come and tell us stuff, and then next thing you know, we're pouring into them. And when it's several of them, sometimes you just don't have nothing left.
I gotta go to the chat because they've been chatting it up with us, and I did not see them. So
What?
you know who's in the house? Alfonso's in the house.
Hey,
So, hey,
Alfonso.
Alfonso, and
What
before
do you
we get
say?
there, yes, Tracy, you are so right. Rebellions, and is that's what would happen. And y'all remember how rebellions came to be? Where we had
Hmm.
Mad Max. Remember Mad Max with Mel Gibson and Tina Turner? They was the biggest rebellions of them all. And it kind of made us sit back and look and go, whoa, don't that look familiar? And what about the other rebellion? We had the other rebellion where we had Wesley Snipes and Sylvester Stallone with Revolution. What was it? With the Demolition Man.
Hmm.
And why was it always about color? It was always breaking us between color to the point that that's all we ever seen, that we are supposed to fight. And like they
Right.
always told you, you learn by what you hear. That's scripture.
Yes. What you
And what
hear and
you
what you
always
see
hear, if you hear I'm a failure, what do you learn to become? A failure.
constantly. Yes. You're
Constantly.
like,
And when you
I'm a
always
failure constantly.
And when you always having negativity in your ear, you're never going to believe anything positive because you always hear negativity in your ear. Just like Alfonso was saying, parents got soft. He said parents got soft.
Yes.
And he said
Yes,
the world
baby. That's
told us,
exactly right. They got soft.
and the world told us that it was okay for us to be alone. He fed us that. They fed us that. I won't, do I want to,
Hmm.
would I want to say parents got soft? I don't want to say parents got
Yeah.
soft. I want to say parents got scared
They got soft in
because
that
they
they
saw
weren't going up against
example.
their children. They
They,
got scared because the government then said don't do.
yes, and that's why I
And
want to
that's
say
another reason, like, okay, well, I'm not doing that. And especially if
right,
you're already out in the streets doing stuff, you
right.
can't have something minor occur at home, and now you really screwed up. So it was always a threat of jail. You know what I mean? Because that was the other sense of slavery. I'm like, they just change it
But not
one
only
name to
slavery,
another.
but not only slavery, we were already told that's what they was building them for us anyway.
Yeah, because
That's a
back in
whole
the
different.
day, even when the Emancipation Proclamation was announced
Whoa! Wait a minute!
twice, two
Wait
years
a minute!
later.
Did you do that, y'all? Wait a minute!
Stop
Throw
it.
the flag. Throw the flag. Throw the
Flag
flag.
on the field.
Wait, throw the
Yes.
flag. Did she do that? And she did it with her diva-fied voice. Do it again, Boo. Go ahead, say it. And do it with your hands like you did. Go
But
ahead, do
seriously, even when the Emancipation Proclamation was then said and signed into law, we still didn't know about it for
it.
2 more years. And the whole process of, well, you're free. Yeah, you're free. You can stay here with us, or, you're free to go do what you want to do. But then it all became about we still need them. We don't want to let them go. So, they would then, for any reason, lock you up. and then take you to any of the masters that were needed help, and then you were stuck there for life, like Eddie Murphy and not yeah Eddie Murphy and
Yeah,
what you call him,
Martin Lawrence.
Martin Lawrence. You know what I mean? It's like you were working that field for the rest of your life on some minor incident, and that became a thing. And then it grew into a bigger thing and a bigger thing, and they're still creating and making money off of prisons, and it's now privatized. So we got even more of an issue
Yeah,
because they're making so much money that they're like, oh no, we're gonna build some more. So if you're building them, build them, they will come because you already have a plan in place to make sure that they get there.
it was already agenda. It was already agenda. They knew it as an agenda because the mere effect of
It was the agenda.
oh, first of all, first of all, let's really look at this. When you have a golden egg, the duck that lays golden eggs,
Shucky
you
ducky quack quack.
you're not gonna let that duck walk away. You're gonna imprison that duck to continue to keep laying you golden eggs.
Yep. What you do? Put a noose around his neck, put a chain on his leg. No, you can't fly away, and no, you can't do nothing I don't say.
And
Duck.
you go up on the pedestal to make him think that he was looking like he was something, laying these golden eggs, not even knowing and realizing that he was a
Trap.
stranger exactly in his own land.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy. And it's not kind of crazy. It really is crazy. That really it was written in the law. Because that was also the difference between Europe and the United States. Where at least they were able to, buy their freedom. They were able to get out. We wrote it into law so that we could never get out. And now you don't have to go and purchase us. You can just continue to have us like cattle and keep breeding us at home. You don't have to go out and buy. But when you wrote that into law, that we could never get out. So it was started as indentured servants. And, you know, others, we're not the only ones. You know what I mean? We're not the only nationality to go through that, but they were able to get out. They were able to work for a while and move on. They were able to do that. And, here's your 40 acres and a mule. You know what I mean? Okay, you work for, here's your little piece. We did not get that. And that's one of the things that I see, as the biggest problem. We never got an apology. And our numbers were so huge, and we put so much on our backs, and we did so much because we knew what to do. We knew how to grow things. We knew how to make things. We knew how to design things. And then even today, it is so hard to get a trademark for anything because it was not in the rule. We are not in that part of the rule book. You are not, you can bring it to them. They'll trademark it in their name, but you cannot use your name. So why is the trademark situation so deep?
Well,
Because that's where the money is.
this is what I say. This is what I say.
Disclaimer has already been said, y'all.
I don't let nobody stamp my destiny. Do
Nope.
what is meant for you to do. You know your purpose and your plan. What you was told before no longer exists anymore. But it depends on you now. How are you going to handle what you know? I just said the other day, the problem is not what you know or what you didn't know. The problem is now that you know what you know, are you going to let things stay the way they are and do nothing
Mm-hmm.
about it? Because if that's the
Right.
case, why even find out if you're not going to do anything about it?
True.
So if that's the case, Don't be complaining about what you see and what you don't see and what you have and what you don't have and what you want and what you don't want if you are not going to be the one to be in control of handling it.
Well, that's the biggest thing. Even though we're talking, historically, how things were, where we came from, the decisions that had to be made, a lot of things we weren't able to make a decision on. And then we're talking about parenting and how things change with parenting and the situations in people's homes. But there does come a time when you, as a person, have to deal with your life. And it's what you decide to do right now. You know what I mean? It's like everybody has a past,
Yep.
everybody has dealt with some stuff, but
Yep.
you decide what you're going to do with your life. You make that decision on your own. That you can't blame your mama and your daddy no more. You can't blame your uncle. You can't blame grandmama. You just have to stop blaming
You
people
have
and
to.
own up to your own stuff and decide how you want to choose, how you choose to live your life. I'm going to make it how I want to make it. And that's where, some people were able to get that. And then some people just, don't. They're like, no, I'm just going with the flow. No, baby, you make it. You make your life what you want it to be.
That's right.
You can
You know,
make it, you can do whatever you like.
you could do whatever you
You
like.
can do whatever you like. Yes,
And
just
that is in my vocabulary.
map it
What?
out.
Up
You
everything.
know, you can do
Listen,
whatever
y'all.
you like. Yes, just think about it. I mean, this is supposed to be a light sister chat, but we always just get deep
Well, see, it
because
is
that's just who
light.
we are. It's just the truth, you guys.
It is the truth. And believe it or not, it is still light. It's a light of reality to actually see what's in front of you. And what we've actually did is shed the light straight on you to say, hey,
Make a
here's
move.
the reset button. Your reset button came along, and your reset button happened twice for you because it always comes back around again.
Yep.
So if you missed the Ferris wheel the first time when it went around,
Mm-hmm.
catch it again and you can get on the
Catch
ride.
it.
So if you went on a carousel and you missed the horse the first time, it's coming back around. You can get on it. Somebody's
Yep.
going to catch that when we come back from break. Because we got to take a break, right?
Yeah, I know it's time to pay that bill before we
We
have to
got to
shut the lights out. Be like, wait, what happened to the lights?
I'm going to say, Star did it. Ha, cha, cha, cha.
Be like, nope, that was her. That wasn't me. That was her. That was me. That was her. You know.
All right, y'all. Hold on. We be right
Right
back
back.
after these important messages. I always want to say that.
And you did.
And now, a word from our proud sponsors. Cosmos Radio Network of the UK, proud sponsors for the Tri-City Finest, King of the Oldies, Ali Hackett, and the Princess Lovely. The international radio station that playing music that's out of this world.
I feel like busting loose, busting loose. I said, Shala, come on, y'all said. I said, Shala, get it, y'all said. I said, Shala, come on, y'all said. I said, Shala, hit it, y'all said. Give me the big time.
Yo, I'm trying to tell you, those intros be on it. I don't know who be making them, but whoever makes them, they can make y'all's too. So if you ever want somebody to give y'all a intro to be popping like that, I'm just saying.
I know who it was.
But contact tkbsds.org at gmail.com. And they can hook up your intro and your outro, your videos, and all that, just like they did for us. But you know what?
Higher.
Yes.
Gonna take you higher now. Higher. Yes.
So listen, before we were on break, Denise said something, and she was in agreement with you, Star. She said
Yes.
nothing wrong with it. Sometimes you have to go off script. And I believe that's because we never wrote the script.
Oh, hello.
And when you don't write the script, you always know who was the one who did. And you always following accordingly.
Yes. And you also know where the modifications need to be. Because when you do the work, you know what needs to happen. And we were always doing the work. So what do? You do the work, you learn how to do it better, faster, easier. You know what I mean? We work smart, not hard. So it's like, you know what? We can do this, and not have to do this, and this. Get the same thing done.
Gotta get it done. Gotta get her done.
Gotta get it done.
Gotta get her done. But you know, I love when we put out that this is what we're going to do. And before we went to break, I had wanted to tell you something about parenting. What happens with parenting? But yeah, let me go to parenting first because it may flip right into what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
Let me give you
what you trying to say.
First. So the demonstration went like this. We are the light bulbs, and what's in us is the gifts. You need, you know, when you see the light bulb, before you turn the light on, it got all them little gadgets inside the bulb.
Okay.
That little silver thing, you know, seals it up at the bottom and holds it in place.
Yes. Okay.
So what happens is put in us what we're supposed to say and what we're supposed to do. And then we plug into what God tells us to do, and the light comes on. And then this is what happens. That's what I like to call, we don't write the script. We just blow up.
You better go back around. Look, that analogy just threw me all the way off. What the what?
So let me tell you again. We are light bulbs. We are empty light bulbs. Okay? We were empty light bulbs that God put fixtures in and screwed the top on. And when we plugged into him, the light came out and we was able to shine a light on what's all going on.
Okay.
So when you look at that, that's why we don't have no script. Because all we are just empty light bulbs. And God came along and we was on the belt. See, some of us is not on the assembly line. We trying to work. But then there's some of us who are on his actual belt that's going to put in the work. Somebody going to get that later.
Yeah.
And for those, God said, all right, you want to be used? You on the assembly line? Okay. He just start plugging things in and plugging us in.
Well, that's really free will. That is the free will that he gave us and allowed us to have. So we have a choice. So even though he gave us all that we need, you know, that light might not come on. It's all about the free will and your choices that makes that light bulb come on. Everything is there for it to work. Should you choose to use it?
Should you choose to use it? Like we said, some of you and some of us are just assembly lines.
Just worker bees.
Just worker
bees. Let me do this. I got it. And you're not thinking outside the box. You're not thinking forward. You're not forward thinking. You're not seeing the whole picture. You're just doing your part.
You're just doing your part. That's it.
Yep. And go through life like that. Always doing your part and never anything more or anything less.
But you know what? Sometimes it's actually meant to just be that one. Like Grandma said, some of us is not going to drive the truck that pick up the trash. Maybe you might be just a sweeper on the street.
Mm-hmm.
If that's who you are, be the best one you're going to be.
Right.
Just saying.
That's true.
So, what was so profound about parenting? Sometimes my son said to me, sometimes us as parents are hard on ourselves as parents.
That's true.
When our children turn out to be anything other than what we believe they ought to be.
What we envisioned. Mm-hmm.
We have to remember they are people too. Because
Oh yeah.
I don't care how good of a parent that you are. If your child is going to go a certain way, he's going to go that way because you never know why he's going that way. It may be destined to go that way because along that way, when he gets better, he's going to have the conversation with somebody and say, I was on that street and I wore that same coat you got on. As a matter of fact, if you look inside of the coat pocket, you may see my old button.
And that lends to, how some kids come from, great homes, great backgrounds, both parents in the home, but
Yeah.
they choose to go to the hood. It's like they want to hang out with their brothers in the hood. And then you have people from the hood that have, become scholars, who have become, mega musicians in their own right because they worked hard to get out. And sometimes you're given everything, and then you have no value. You're not valuing that because it was just given to you. You was born in it, and it doesn't have the value. But when you work for something and you work towards something, and you have a goal, it changes. You know what I mean? And when you achieve that, it's something monumental. So that changes your disposition. So no matter what other people were saying to you in your ear, growing up, that you're not this and you're not that, you have taken control of your life and said, well, I'm going to be better. This is something that I aspire to. And then you did that. You know what I mean? You're like, she did that. But that's what it is.
Yeah.
So it's really ironic how some people come from this era and some people come from that area, and completely different. And then there's some, which is the normal standard, that grow up in that and that they become that. But people are just people, and they gravitate to different things and different people. And once you raise them and they get out in the world, all you can do is pray, that they take those morals with them
As,
into the world.
as grandma would say, the word would say, um, put the word in them. So when they do stray, and if they do stray, they'll be able to find their way home. That's why I had liked Mimo so much. Because in watching Mimo, no, I'm sorry, wrong movie. Finding Dora.
Dora the Explorer.
No, not the Explorer. Dora.
Finding Dora.
Finding Dora, the one who was with Nemo.
Yeah.
She got lost. But her parents had planted a way back for her to find her way back home had she wandered too far and forgot where she lived at. I just helped somebody.
Okay.
My pastor, James Moore Sr., y'all know, a second pastor I had Baptist Church in West
What
Philly,
his name is?
38th Parish, where we are now open. Yeah, as him would say, I just helped somebody there.
I just helped somebody. Come on.
I'm just saying.
Because she was very forgetful and would be, you know what I mean? That's the other thing of knowing your child. You know what I mean? When you know them so well and you know what to do for them. And no one knows your child better than you.
Yep.
At least there used to be a time when that was absolutely true.
Yep.
So knowing that, they did what they needed to do to help her. And it really did. You know what I mean? Because she was really far off. But that was such a good movie. I loved it.
It was. And I love the spiritual sense of it because it was telling them that, she was lost. But even in her being lost, she was found.
Yeah.
And she could be found. And there's sometimes in our lives where we are so lost. And we be so hard on people, not understanding why people are really the way they are.
Right.
And we quick to judge. Well, that's because they was doing this. Oh, that's because I was growing up there. Listen, look. Let me learn you something. Real quick. Just because that happened for you and that worked for you in your era and your time, it doesn't mean it's going to work that way for everybody in theirs.
No, but also you've got to remember that, you are in control of your life now. So you make the decisions.
Make the decision.
Make it. Make it happen for you.
It happens.
You got to stop blaming and you got to stop judging. Like, I can't, you stop judging your parents. And this is the other thing that's really bothering me today. It's like they're judging people from today's standards, 21st century standards that were not in effect in the 70s. Okay. So it's like, how you going to judge me by a 70s rule in the 21st century? I was already judged back then. Hello, what are you talking about? How you gonna go back and now say this has changed? Well, it was fine in the 70s, so now you telling me it's not fine now? Oh, so now I'm going to get consequences and repercussions because of something that I did back then, but you can judge me on it now by today's standards.
I've seen everybody else do that. You should be going back to go get them too.
Go get everybody.
But
why you pointing me out?
Listen, Linda and Larry.
Listen.
I'm understand something. I heard Riri say that. This is what happens when you allow one monkey to get away with the banana.
Ooh. Well,
here comes some more monkeys thinking they're going to get some bananas too. Okay? Because that is bananas, what they doing. And I ain't talking about the song. I ain't talking about the bananas either.
B-A-N-A-N-A-S. Go. Bananas. B-A-N-A-N-A-S. Okay, I'm sorry.
And that was 70s. I was like. I'm serious. That's what happens when you allowed. Because y'all allowed what had happened to happen. So now they're like, oh, that worked for them.
Right.
Let's go get some more.
You got away with it. Oh, so if you got away with it, so can I. Let me go on and try it. And that's what you got right now. Everybody trying to get away with all of the lies because, oh, he did it. So can I.
But not only that, this is your way of trying to gain back control and gain back fear. See, the same thing happened with the DHS issue, which people gave DHS a bad name because, believe it or not, DHS actually will help you with your kids. But people don't know that part. They only know about the part that they do when it comes to taking their kids. People don't even know. DHS actually helps. But you wouldn't know that if you never had a situation that led you to that side of the building. Because y'all kept walking on the side on this street. And on this street, you walked in with your kids and walked out without them. And somebody else went with your kids.
Just the thought of.
But that was what they wanted you to see so they could have control. So once they had control, that means you no longer had control. That means your kids became out of control. That means we was able to get your kids. See, before our kids was covered from head to toe, shoulder to shoulder.
Yep.
Covered. Okay?
Not anymore.
They took the sheets off our kids and no longer allow our kids, and the poison was able to get into our kids. That's why our kids are the way they are. I want to start pointing fingers and saying, well, it's the parents, this and the system. No. Come on. Let's stop going backwards. And if we must go back to the 70s, let's go back to the 70s to see what they did to get over so we can continue getting over.
Yes. And that is the moral of the story for today, because what's old is new again. So let's look at all of the good things that happened in the 70s and let's invoke some of it, because it's being invoked in so many ways. I mean, even to the hairstyle, you know what I mean? It's like everybody wearing the natural hair. Where we at? 70s. Everybody wearing their bell bottoms. Tie dye has gone and come and gone. And, people are tie dyeing their own stuff, so those were good. But, the policies that were in effect, and then just saying that civil rights was over, like, what? There's definitely a ball drop there, but that we continue to carry the ball,
Right.
that we
Right.
continue to grow, that we continue to do our very best within our families and, for society in general, and just plug in. Because I
Yeah.
think that we have truly unplugged. Like, even though we are in a situation that, it should wake us up enough to let us know that, we need to stay plugged into each other, we were so unplugged, and everybody was off doing their own thing, didn't care about anybody, neighbors, or nothing. It's all about me, all about me, all about me and mine. You know, where in the 60s and 70s, it was about the community. It was
Yeah.
about the people together. It was about hanging out together, partying together, watching each other's kids. You know what I mean? Family on family on family. Nobody was going without. Everybody was cooking up a storm. So it was a different thing. And that's one of the things that, if I had an opportunity to move something forward, that would be one of the things that I would take from the 70s, along with the heartfelt music that I do see happening now. But that part, that family oriented part where we are totally engaged and down with each other. You know what I mean? Your best friend was two doors down. Your best friend was right around the corner. Like, everybody knew everybody. And it was a beautiful thing. That would be one thing that I would take, and bring it forward, so that the village is back in play.
Talking about the village, we be right back after these messages to hear about some more village people.
YMCA.
Not them. We talk about TKBSDS.
Well, okay, all right. You so crazy.
If you want to create a drop, release your new song with a pop, do you need an exciting intro for your video, promote your business, products, or shows? Contact us for customized digital video packages. For more details, email us at tkbsds.org@gmail.com.
Good morning, Facebook family. Happy Wednesday to you. Just going to jump on for half a second. I have a question to propose to you. Are you a jealous person? I'm sure that answer is obviously no. However, there are some jealous people in this world, right? Um, if you don't think you are, let me just say this to you. Are you the type of person that when a woman, my responses are for men and women alike, but in particular this one, when a woman comes into a room and she's got her stuff together, everything is tight and in place, and she's beautiful, and you look her up and down and give that little stink face? Or are you it's just something about her, I just don't know? Is there something about her, or is it something about you? Are you that person? um are you that guy's like, man, this joker right here is a clown, because he's all put together, and everyone loves him, his charisma, but you have a problem with him? Is a problem true, or is a problem you? Jealousy is a very dangerous thing. Or are you, because you can be dressed to the nine, have the best ride, the job, or whatever, and walk into a room and expect people to compliment you, but they'll compliment someone else, and inside you're a mess because they didn't give you that compliment, so you become jealous of the person? Or are you that person, when that individually, male or female, walks into the room, you try to make them the butt end of your jokes and make them feel embarrassed, and mess with their their presence? You try to do that. Well, but in reality, you look crazy, and your insecurities and your jealousy are noticeable, really. Or are you that person who someone is jealous of you, and you have experienced the frustration of they're copying your hairstyle, you get a car to get one better, they're dressing similar to you, they're wearing your fragrance? Are you that person? Well, guess what? I had to learn this. Stop being frustrated with them, because really you're being impressive and impactful. It's a side hit of they admire you. They really think highly of you, but they don't have enough unction or nerve or courage to say that. What's wrong with giving someone a compliment if they look nice? What's wrong with giving someone a compliment if they have made a great achievement? You have no control over the response or how a person may respond. Now, if give a person a compliment and, they act all funny and crazy, then I get it. You want to fall back on that a little bit. However, you continue to be impactful and impressive. Don't be on the side of the green eye monster of jealousy, but you be on the side of being impactful, humble, let's put that in there, and impressive. Until the next time we meet, I love you from that special place. We're still in a pandemic. Come on, guys, let's get together, protect our baby. Be careful how you move about today, right? Let's pray for our city. Oh my God, I know violence is rampant everywhere, but in Philadelphia, let's all get together and let's pray that God, because I don't know the answer. Obviously, other people say they know the answer, or some don't know the answer, but let's pray to the one who has all the answers, right? Until then, next time, I love you from that special place. I'm going to take a brisk walk today on the journey of getting better. Peace.
Well, what can you say about
Auntie is always on time.
Auntie? Always says it.
Always. Love her.
Love
We
Auntie,
need more aunties in the world
because that's what we had
sharing
in
their
the 70s.
wisdom.
That's what we had in the 70s. We had our aunties. I'm so glad
Hmm.
we brought her back right here on the Sister Chat.
See, and that's what's missing. That just grip them up and let's go get some ice cream. But it
Let's
was
go.
the story. It was the story on the way to get ice cream. It was
Yeah,
the story while you were eating the ice cream that you were receiving because someone was taking the time,
yeah,
to share a moment with you.
yeah.
And you got opened up by that. You know what I mean? They poured in. But that's what's not happening. You know what I mean? We really need to pour
I
into the
used to go.
youngins.
I would tell my nephews, "Come on, let's go play some ball," and I would have my heels on. They be like, "You gonna play me?" I said, "All right. If I make the hoop in my heels, you gotta talk to me. I don't make the hoop, you ain't gotta say nothing. We'll just continue playing ball, until I get the ball in. But I'm guaranteeing you, you're not going to be able to get the ball in. And I'm going to make the ball with my heels on. And my ball is going to give you nothing but net. They like, yeah, right, auntie, whatever, auntie. And what ended up happening? They ended up talking because auntie knew how to play with heels and with crutches and with a boot. Auntie get down like that.
Well, we
Because
do
I
have a
had
few things in
I
common.
had that auntie. I had that auntie. And I call my auntie to this day. I know my auntie Bev. My auntie Bev love her some love. I'm her love bug. And I call auntie all the time. Say, auntie, how we do this? I can't. Auntie, you can. You will.
Yeah.
Well, she'll lead me down that. Do you think you ought to do this? Do you think we ought to do that? I said, you know what? I'm going to put you on a segment. You want to come and talk. She said, you're not going to do that. So I called my other auntie.
Listen.
Auntie has always come through. So, shout out to all the aunties out here.
Yes. To all the aunties, to all the that call themselves aunties that were just a part of the extended family.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
So talking about a shout out, it's time for us to shout out of here. Oh, I forgot to tell y'all what happened.
What happened?
So what happened was I was talking with my son about children and the pain that sometimes adults we receive from children in their growing and them hitting their learning curves, and the love and unappreciation and all that other good stuff. When the parents that stayed get them beaten.
Yes.
And
That's
it's
true.
like, why is it so rough? And he said, Mom, it's not until we get older that we really, really appreciate what you really do and who you really are.
Yes.
He said, because at the time where we in our stuff, we don't know no better. We don't understand. But it's not until we get older and look back and be like, wow.
Yeah. She did all of that.
So I was like, I went and bought my birthday dress because everybody know, if y'all don't know, I'm doing my 50-day walk. And my 50-day walk is called my 50-50. And what my 50-50 is, you're going to hear something about me or see something of what I've done within my 50 years of life as I get closer to my birthday. So today is the 49th birthday. So 49 days till my birthday. And today I said, today I cry. Yesterday was today I skate. And I put my skates back on. And I was doing my skates. Today I cry. And I cried tears of joy because my son says, I went and got my birthday dress today. I said, it's ready. I said, you're going to be like, oh, Mom, you look beautiful. He said, no, I'm going to say, yes, Queen. And I said, Queen? He's like, you my queen. And I said, the day that you graduate from being mom to a queen only expresses what he was saying. You realize. And I remember when I realized with my mom on my wedding day, and I made a tribute to her on my wedding day. And the caterer was like, this is your day. And the coordinator was like, this is your day. You don't do that. I said, yeah. But it had not been for the day, this day wouldn't even exist because I wouldn't even be here. So let me do what I need to do for mine. And I had the band play the instrumental Mama. And when she got close to her seat to go sit down, the guys from the band, because it was a live band, I had them say, Mama, don't you know Shauna loves you? Mama. And those was the words that they sang in the song. And they did it according to, and then they did, Mama, you're the queen of her heart. And as she was sitting down, I was dedicating to her and they were singing to her.
Yeah, that's cool.
Down, and she was like, and she said, that's the day she knew that I loved her. I said, I always loved you. She said, yeah, but the things that we went through as you got older, I said to you, I may have appeared that I did not love you, but I loved everything you did. I may not understood why or what you did, but I knew you did it out of love. And when my son came back and told me that today, as I crossing the threshold of turning 50, I was like, the look
Ooh.
on your face that when your son just calls you queen, that means something. So I say that to say, be encouraged by whatever it takes for you to do what you have to do in your life.
Right.
Somebody sees it and notices and calls you what you are. Now,
Right.
I'm calling myself a queen, but my son did. And that meant more to me than anything to know that he considers me a queen.
Yes,
That,
hunty.
honey, I was like, yo, you just gave me a lottery ticket, dude. You just don't know.
Yeah. There's nothing like it.
It's not
That realization, when they see, the sacrifice, the extras, and it's like, man, you really gotta love your kid, and you take them to Disneyland, Disney World. And just when they begin to see all of the positives and the struggles, and how it's not easy, what I mean, working and basketball practice, and all about you scenario.
right.
So it does feel good. So
Yeah,
I'm definitely with you on that. That's a good feeling.
that is. And that's why I was going earlier when I said you just the world will always say something is wrong with you. My pastor said, if you look at me long enough, you're gonna find something wrong. But don't back yourself up on me. Back yourself up on the one who's perfect.
Yes.
And that's the one up there.
And with his guidance, and that's why, one of my posters, like, what I mean, when you lead with your heart,
Yep.
you can never go wrong. And that was because you're guided. You know what I mean? When you're leading from your heart, you know what I mean? It's not in your head. You know what I mean? When you speak from your heart, it's a different space. And you can't, it's very hard to go wrong when you lead from there. And I wear my heart on my sleeves. So it is what I do.
But
I do a lead with my
but you
heart.
have, but you have good intents.
I do.
You have very, very, very good intentions. Like you truly become your name, the star. You really do. You really do. And it's because of people like us, because we leave with our heart. Sometimes we don't get back what we give out, but we had later grown to realize through maturity that that's not why we did it.
No,
We did it from the heart. So if they don't say thank you, he did
it's
it.
all right.
If they
Yep,
don't give it back, he will.
it's
If they
fine.
don't acknowledge what you did, he shall.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even recognize that they hurt you in your giving. He will heal you. And if you get hurt, he will fix you.
Preach
If
on.
if they don't cheer you, he
He
will.
will.
Stop looking for somebody to give back for the get back.
Nope.
Because ain't nobody gonna
And
get
be
it back.
careful of that person. If they doing it just for the get back, that's not who you want in your camp.
And
Okay?
if you doing it because you need to get back, don't do
Do
it.
it.
Because you're doing it
Period.
for the wrong reason. You
Yes.
never know why you're being told to do something to somebody or for somebody. So when people get hurt by when you do something out of your heart and good intentions and they don't see that, that's not your bomb. That's theirs.
No. Yes.
And if they're hurt by it out of love, they are to come back to you and say, look, you hurt me in what you did. Then that's when the ball is put back on you to explain what you did. And if it shows that you did it in hurt, you let them know that wasn't done in hurt. That was done
Mm-mm.
in pure
That was not
love.
any bad intentions
But if the
in
love
that.
hurt you,
Yeah.
then y'all both need to get on your knees and pray about it.
Header, Jesus, take the wheel.
But I say that to say to all of us good people, because they say good people, we get tired. No, we shall never get tired, because he will always regenerate us.
Replenish. Yes.
He will always regenerate. We will become the Energizer Bunny, and we will keep
Yes.
going.
Yes.
Beat
Yes.
that
Because
drum.
I look at life sometimes and I'm like, I don't know how you turn around. Like, I don't know. All I know is my God got me, because I don't see any other footprints in the sand. Okay. And that is not my tiny foot. Okay. So
I
I
know that's right.
know that he's carrying me. I know it. And he's given me voice. He's given voice to my passion, and he's allowed me to grow in my gift. And now he's allowing me to grow in a different way in my gift. Like, it's amazing how the gift of giving underneath comes back to you. Like, it's almost like that boomerang effect we were talking about. You know what I mean? Because everything that we're doing is going out, but every now and then he allows it to come back to you, and he allows you to see it, and he allows you to see the effect that you're having on other people. And if I can touch your heart, then my job is done. If I can get you to listen, and see things a little bit differently,
Yes,
then my job is done. If I can give you positive vibes that will take you out of a negative headspace, my job is done. And that's kind of where I am, and I'm blessed.
that's right.
I'm really blessed to be in a position to do that. And not to say that, everything is perfect in my life, because it is not. But I do know I got my Jesus to take care of me and to listen to me, that I can cry on his shoulders. I can curl up with him anytime, any day, any way. And he will help to rejuvenate what is gone, what is lost, what I'm feeling as a human being, because we are human and we do go through stuff, and we do have doubts, and they will creep in from time to time. But we kick doubt out. But sometimes we need a little help.
Yeah,
So
we
I just want you guys to know that help is on the way, and be the help that you need, be the help that you want. Sometimes you've got to give in order to receive. There is a beautiful feeling in the gift of giving.
it is.
When you give just a little piece of yourself, that's when they would always say, you know what I mean? You give something, you get it back tenfold. I never really got that, but I get it now, and it's not when you think it's supposed to be, it just comes when it's needed. And it's a beautiful thing to see. And I'm just glad that I personally have a relationship with my father. Yes, and his name is Jesus. And I'm not afraid to say it, Jesus. Okay? Jesus, take
I
the
heard how
wheel.
you said that, right?
Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Yes, to the God be the glory. That's all I'm going to say today. Yes, Hunty. The sister chat, we have spoken. Okay? We have taken you back to the 70s, because what's old is new again. So it's like, look, go on and pull out that hair that you was holding on to, or go to your mama, your mama and them, because they were sharp. They were sharp back in the day. Go on and pull some of that stuff out. I guarantee you, they're gonna be like, "Oh, that's nice. Where'd you get that from?" Don't tell them. Don't tell them. Keep it to yourself. Don't even tell them it was from the closet, from your grandmama and them. Yeah, don't tell them. Just look good in it and walk your walk, talk your talk, and just enjoy life. So yes, Hunty, life is not like a box of chocolates, because we all over the place. We want to follow the man upstairs. He's gonna be the one that's gonna make it all better.
And when you don't know what to do like Donnie McClurkin said, just stand. And I guarantee you, he will either send someone to you or he'll come tell you yourself. You just got to be patient and wait. Stand on your brand. and listen.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes he'll tell you if you're quiet enough, you can hear him. Don't be
Mm-hmm.
distracted by everything that's around you. And I'm pointing out a special word, and star is too. It's not about us, it's about you.
It's about you, boo.
Your own happiness, your
Yours.
love.
You're in control.
You're in control.
Mm-hmm.
And when you are not in control, nothing else around you is. And if you are not okay, nobody else can be okay. So you go ahead and be okay. And if you can't, know that you got some sisters you can come and talk to. We'll be here for you.
Call us. Mm-hmm. That's what we do.
That's what we do. That's what we do. We tell you it's not that you can't wear your crown.
Nope.
Oh, you can wear it.
You
It may
can.
fall off. It may bend. It may tilt. It may even get dirty. Just wash it off. Wipe it off.
Wipe it off.
Back on your head.
Fix
And
it.
what? It may not fit only because you just didn't adjust it. So go ahead and adjust it a little bit.
Yeah, look at that crown. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
Just a
that
little
crown.
bit.
A little bit. Adjust that crown
Just
now.
a little bit. Just
Baby.
a little bit.
Crown down. This one.
Okay, my
I like your little
sister.
crown.
I know, right? It's so cute. Be like, wait, hold on.
Now I'm gonna have to go upstairs and get my little crown that I ain't been wearing. Lord have mercy. Look what she done started. Now
Listen,
we got to go get some crowns.
listen.
Oh,
Our birthdays are coming.
yes, they
For
are.
all of the Scorpios out
Woo,
there, I'm telling you, you better tune in because we're gonna be wearing our crown.
Hunty.
I'm gonna be wearing it. Okay, so you don't know what we gonna listen. It's gonna be October theme month. Ain't no telling what theme we coming with, and we gonna need y'all to come in to the
Come in.
house
Yes.
and enjoy it with us. And we got some stuff going on outside of here too. So I'll be like, meet us over here, meet us over there. Y'all come on and enjoy the Scorpio
Never know
season.
where we may pop up at. We may be popping up right
Because
next.
we know some folks. We didn't have some folks on this joint that are elite. Okay. So you don't know who would know. So you might want to chime in and see what we got going on.
Yeah,
Okay.
just look at peekaboo. Just peekaboo and say, I see you.
Who? Hooty
So with that,
hoo!
I'm gonna let our favorite star tell y'all good night.
Yes, Hunty. I just want to tell you a wonderful, wonderful good evening to you. And don't feel blase. Just move on with your day. And I'm going to tell you all to pray. Keep prayer in your life because you're going to need it. Yes, 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 and yes. Love you. And we will see you same time, same channel next week. Next Wednesday. Wednesday is the day as the time for the sister chat. See you, Hunty. Bye.